Sixthly, excellence in relationships. We're getting through this, guys. We've got time for a couple more baptisms before going. In this area of relationships, that's the sixth one, relationships, the lack of excellence is going to give all of us the most grief in all these seven that I mentioned this morning. This is the one. So I want to urge you to give due diligence to excellence in all the seven areas, but I'm not going to go yet, I outlined this morning. But if you needed to choose just one, choose this one, excellence in relationships. Gary Inrig, in his book Quality Friendship, great book, reminds us that the family is the basic laboratory for personal development. In his book he says this: if any one factor, I see this over and over again, if any one factor influences the character development and emotional stability of an individual, it is the quality of the relationship he or she experiences as a child with both parents. Conversely, if people suffering from severe, non-organic emotional illness have one experience in common, it is the absence of a parent through death, divorce, a time-demanding job, or other reasons. A parent's inaccessibility, either physically, emotionally, or both, can profoundly influence a child's emotional health. So if you're all kind of feeling I'm stuffed up, go back to your family of origin. It might have started there. Now listen to this, it should be on the screen. The family is our basic laboratory for learning and developing two of the most significant things about us. One, our sense of self-worth and our skills at interpersonal relationships. Many people are crippled in the area of relationships largely because of their family backgrounds. And they are. Our sense of self-worth and our skills at interpersonal relationships. When we get these right, there will be excellence in your relationships everywhere. Now here's what I've observed over a long, long period of time where excellence is lacking in interpersonal relationships. I see it again and again and again, and at 99 times out of 100 it's going to go back to your family of origin. What I see is a lack of social graces, that is, no skills and no ideas about boundaries. Everyone should have boundaries. If you haven't read that book, buy it and get onto it. And there's a total lack of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable with regard to the demands on another person or on other people. And secondly, what I see is a desire to have one other person or other people fill the need that only God can fill in your life. Tragic mistake. The lack of social graces just flows on from the family of origin, from generation to generation. If you don't get it right now, neither will your kids. So you need to get it right. We all need to get it right. We need to say, enough's enough. The family that I came from was a bit of a mixed up family. And because it was mixed up, so am I. But it's going to stop right here. I'm going to turn it around now. And I'm going to let God loose in my life, and from this generation on, and my kids and my grandkids, they're not going to have these things going on that I had going on in my family of origin. And you can do that. You can do that. That's my challenge to you this morning. And I want to say, don't ever expect from one person or any other people what only God can do. There is a God-shaped vacuum in the heart and life of every individual. Only God can fill that. Shaped like Him. We try to put other people in there, we demand from other people, and then we feel all let down, bent out of shape if they don't fill up. Oh, they've offended me, they've done this and that. Only God can do that. When it comes to social graces, we need to apply honour and respect, the honour and respect principle, and I'll look at that in a moment. And when it comes to the God-shaped vacuum, I want to share with you a proverb shortly about the foolishness of catering to the crowd of any individual person, trying to be a people pleaser rather than to honour and worship God. Many of you have recently either done the study or read the book by John Bevere, Material Honest Reward, right? How many done Honest Reward? Everyone needs to do it. If you haven't done that, buy the book over there at your bookshop there, and read the book, and put those principles into practice. We are to honour and respect all people, but the Bible singles out certain individuals and roles and offices for honour and respect to be given, and tells us how to deal with that. Let me just give you a quick example of that. 1 Peter 2:17, show proper respect, that's honour, for everyone. Love your fellow believers, fear God, and honour the emperor, honour the political leaders. And of course there are other scriptures, a whole lot of them that give, together they give a whole fuller treatment of this very important subject, so get hold of that book. But let me say this about being a God pleaser rather than a people pleaser. 1 Thessalonians 2. You know why we're people pleasers? Because we want them to like us. And we'll do the wrong thing to get them to like us. We'll give in to them. We'll do all sorts of crazies to get the people to like us when actually we should be operating by God's principles. So here we go. 1 Thessalonians 2:4. Paul says, we are not trying to please people, but God who tries our hearts. Proverbs 18:24. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. I think that friend is Jesus. I think it's Jesus. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times. I think that friend is Jesus, but a brother is born for adversity. Proverbs 25:17. Take this one home with you. Seldom set foot in your neighbour's house. Probably not you. That's probably too gracious. Too much of you and you will be hated. It's true. Just take care of it. I think that the friend of those Proverbs is Jesus, because he alone can fill the God-shaped vacuum in the heart and life of every individual here this morning. And wisdom would say, as we read those Proverbs, don't be too intense with anyone. And respect their boundaries. Look for them. Get out of the way. Simply and lastly, we're nearly done. You will have no lasting excellence in any of those areas or anywhere else unless you live a balanced life.